So in the end, both the traditional and the modern identity are crushing, because what they're doing is basically it's something that you have to perform. And by the way, if you're performing well this week, you have a little bit of confidence. If you're not performing well, you feel down in the dumps. Is there any other way? Yes, there is. Christianity gives you the only identity that is received and not achieved. It's received, not achieved. Christianity gives you, here's these last three things. The Christian identity is unique, not only unique in its basis, unique in its source, and unique in its shape. First of all, it's unique in its basis. 2 Corinthians 5, verse 21. I'm going to say this, and it will not make sense at first, and I'll explain it, okay? This is a verse in the New Testament. 2 Corinthians 5:21 says, God made Jesus sin, who knew no sin, that we might become the righteousness of God in him. Now, when it says God made Jesus on the cross sin, does that mean it made him sinful? Did God make him sinful? No. Does it mean on the cross Jesus became nasty and brutish and No. When it says God made him sin on the cross, it means he was treated as if he'd done everything we had done. So he took the punishment and paid the debt. So when it says God made him sin, it means he was treated as if he'd done everything we'd done. God made him sin who knew no sin, Jesus sin, that we might become the righteousness of God in him. And what that means, and this is how, I'm not, by the way, defending the Christian gospel right here, or even explaining it. I'm showing you how it works in the area of identity. When you say, Father, forgive me and accept me, not because of anything I've done, but what Jesus has done, at that moment, we become the righteousness of God in him. What does that mean? Just as Jesus did not become sinful, but was treated as if he'd done everything we've done. So we don't automatically become perfect. No, it just means that when you believe, God treats you as if you'd done everything Jesus has done. It's astounding. There is no other, by the way, culture or religion that gives you an identity based on that. His regard of you cannot go up or down depending on your performance. See, it's got a unique basis, and therefore it's also got a unique source. The traditional identity says your family tells you who you are. The modern identity says you tell you who you are. But what does the Christian identity tell you? God becomes the validator. Some years ago, I never forgot a man that I really respected as a teacher and as a scholar. I just had so much respect for him. And after, he knew me a little bit from a class I'd taken with him. And a couple of years later, I met him at a conference, and I came up to him and said hello. And he said, oh, he remembered me. And he says, let's go have a soda together, and sat down and affirmed me. And the reason that went through me, the reason it lifted me up, because the praise of the praiseworthy is above all rewards. The praise of the praiseworthy is above all rewards. If somebody you don't respect, praises you, okay. If somebody you incredibly respect praises you, wow. There's nothing like being adored by someone you adore. But what if it's God? According to the Bible, when you're in Jesus Christ, when you believe in Jesus Christ, how do I say it? God, the only the only eyes whose opinion counts, looks at you and finds you more precious than all the jewels that lie beneath the earth. To the degree that sinks in, to that degree you have the most solid possible identity there is. Now, when I said, by the way, a final shape, there's all sorts of uniquenesses about the Christian identity, which I can't go into right now. But you need to keep this in mind. If in both traditional and modern identity is based on performance, which means if you're doing okay, you kind of have confidence, but no humility, you get arrogant. If you're not doing okay, you have kind of humility, but no confidence. But you see, because the Christian identity is received, not achieved, and is a gift of grace, you actually don't deserve it. That's what's so wonderful about it, but you get it. It humbles you into the dust and then lifts you to the sky at the same time. And therefore, there's a boldness and a humility together that happens in a Christian identity that's just unique. And there's one other thing. The way you regard other people. You actually can hear people's criticism, and you can appreciate people who are different. Whenever you're insecure in your self-worth and your identity, there's always a need to put other people down, especially people who are different from you, so you bolster yourself with self-esteem. I mean, the essence of the Pharisee is Luke chapter 18, where the Pharisee looks and says, "Oh, Father, I thank thee that I'm not like other men." And you see, the way a liberal person feels better is to say, "I'm just not like those bigots over there," and the conservatives, "I'm not like those Marxists over there." And everybody looks down at somebody, white, black, Western, non-Western, politics. Christianity humbles you and yet makes you bold, which means I don't need to compare myself to other people. I don't need that anymore. And therefore, there's an openness to difference. So there's the humility and the boldness, the openness to difference. We got to stop, because there's all sorts of ways in which the Christian identity is utterly unique, because its basis and its source is so different.